good evening. This is Ruhamah. I I'm here to show you about the full block letter with mixed punctuations that I made. So, to start off with the full block letter, first we need to ensure first I set up my ruler. So I just go here to view and see if my ruler is set up or not. And then I just make sure when I look at my page, I first need to make sure my margins are properly aligned. So I go to the layout and see whether my margins are properly aligned, like all four borders of the margins. And then also before I start, I need to make sure my font is set right. Like I can use Arial or Times New Roman, and here I use like 11 font size. And also I need to make sure one more thing, like to make sure there's no spacing, because we do not want any spacing in between the lines. So my letter, as its full block letter with mixed punctuations, all the for full block, it starts with the left. Everything is aligned to the left, and we never use tab. So I made sure it's 2 inch at the top. At this present letter, I didn't use any letterhead, but if we want to use letterheads, like we can go to to create the labels if we want to. And then for this letter, I started with the date, which is my opening, and then I make sure I follow the spacing after my date, and then this is where my address is, where it should be addressed to, or like the attention. So I started with whom I want to address this to, and the name of the college and the address, and I make sure everything is accurate with the spacing and the structure. Like I use Toronto T capitalized, and then make sure postal code is typed right. And then coming to my body, I started with a salutation, and I use miss, and then I use a colon because we are using mixed punctuation in this case. And I make sure I just use the last name instead of the full name when I'm doing the greetings. And then I started with my first paragraph, and there is like double space in between all the four paragraphs, and there's no space in between. So after that, I close with the proper closing with a close warming, and then with the kind words appreciation, kind of like we can use something nice here. And then I made sure I place sincerely yours. I made sure the S is capital here and Y is not. And after that, there is again the spacing, like how much space I left at the top. I made sure I follow the same at the very bottom as well. And this is where my name, and this is where the signature goes. And then I give my designation, and I use my reference like the initials here. And then I enclosed with writing because I put the enclosure here because I just made sure in the document that it's so and so listed. So that's the reason I have to use enclosure here. And then at the very bottom, I use the footer here, and then I use the file path where I can go to the info, and then I can go to the document info and then paste my file path. And then I also made sure like I have my name written at the very bottom. And for this, when we write the footer, we always ensure like it's aligned to the font that we are typing. The font will be changed, so we need to make sure it's back to the, like we change the font before we double click on that. And this is how my um, business letter looks like. And I did the opening, I did the body, I did the greeting salutation, and I used the signature, and I used the enclosure, used the file path, and this is what it looks like. Thank you so much.